Why do your most important ideas get lost in translation? You've been there. You're in a critical meeting, your heart is thumping, and you have something vital to say. You've rehearsed it, you know the data, you know with absolute certainty that your idea is the right move. You open your mouth, you make your case, and you are met with blank stares. Polite nods, interesting, we'll take that into consideration. And then, nothing. The conversation moves on. The decision goes the other way. Your idea, the one that you knew was brilliant, evaporates into the air as if it were never spoken. You walk away from that meeting with a familiar, sinking feeling. What went wrong? I should have used better words. I should have added more slides. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't persuasive enough. Let me be clear. The problem isn't your intelligence. The problem isn't your vocabulary. The problem isn't even the quality of your idea. The problem is your wiring and the wiring of everyone you're speaking to. Welcome to the communication paradox. In a world obsessed with data, logic, and facts, we are failing to connect. The more we focus on what we say, the less impact we seem to have. We are all trying to communicate, but nobody is being heard. Why? Because you have been taught to communicate in a way that fights the human brain. You believe you are speaking to a logical, rational, attentive person. You are not. You are speaking to a 2-million-year-old survival machine. A machine that is running ancient, buggy software on modern problems. A machine that is not designed to appreciate your spreadsheet, but to survive a threat. If you want to speak smart, you have to stop speaking to the person. You have to start speaking to their brain. And to do that, you need the user manual. This book is that manual. And the first thing you must understand is the core conflict happening in your listener's head and in yours every second of every day. You don't have one brain, you have two. Well, not literally, but you have two core systems operating at all times, and they are in a constant war. First, you have the smart brain. This is your prefrontal cortex, or PFC. This is the new, shiny, advanced piece of hardware. It's the CEO of your mind. It sits right behind your forehead and is responsible for everything you consider you. Your logic, your rational thought, your planning, your personality, and your ability to understand complex ideas. It's the part of your brain that loves data, that makes projections, and that built your beautiful slide deck. It is sophisticated, brilliant, and incredibly slow. Even worse, it's an energy hog. It burns through your body's resources like a supercomputer. Second, you have the fast brain. This is your limbic system. This is the ancient, primal, emotional core of your mind. If the PFC is the CEO, the limbic system is the hyper-vigilant, trigger-happy head of security. It's been with us for millions of years. It doesn't do logic. It doesn't do next quarter's projections. It does emotion and survival. Its only job is to constantly scan your environment and ask a few simple questions. Is this a threat? Is it safe? Is this familiar? Does this feel good? One of the most critical parts of this limbic system is a tiny, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. This is your personal alarm system. And here is the central problem of all human communication. The security guard always gets the message first. Every single word you speak, every gesture you make, every slide you show is not routed to the logical CEO. It is first filtered through the emotional, reactive security guard. Your listener's amygdala gets veto power over their prefrontal cortex. While you are trying to deliver your nuanced, logical argument to their smart brain, their fast brain is busy deciding if you are a threat. Now, what does a threat look like in a modern meeting? It's not a lion in the grass. It's the threat of being bored. Boredom is a threat because it means wasting precious cognitive energy. It's the threat of being confused. Confusion is a threat because it makes the listener feel stupid, which is a social threat. It's the threat of being lectured. Being lectured is a threat to social status. Let's replay that meeting scenario, but this time through the lens of neuroscience. You walk to the front of the room. You can feel your own heart pounding. That's your amygdala, which we'll get to in Chapter 2. You click to your first slide, which is covered in dense text and a complex chart. You think you are showing them impressive data. Their brains perceive a cognitive threat. Their fast brain, their limbic security guard, sees that slide and immediately sounds a silent alarm. Warning, this is complicated. This is going to require a lot of energy to understand. This is boring. Instantly, the brain's defense system kicks in. The prefrontal cortex, the very part you need to convince, starts to get less blood flow. The listener hasn't decided to stop listening. Their biology made the decision for them. You continue speaking, your voice tight with a little nervous energy. You think you are sounding passionate. Their fast brain hears your vocal tension and registers it as danger. The security guard whispers to the CEO, "Why is he so nervous? Is this bad news? Is he trying to trick us?" Don't trust him. You are 10 minutes into your logical, brilliant presentation, and your entire audience is in a defensive, low-level threat detection state. Their brains are not open to your idea. They are braced against it. And you, sensing the disconnect, do what we all do. You talk more. You add more data. You talk faster. You try to force your logic past the gate. But you are just yelling at the security guard who has already locked the door to the CEO's office. This is the communication paradox. Your attempt to be smart by leading with logic is the very thing that causes your listener to shut down. But this paradox isn't just about the listener. It's also about you. Your brain is lying to you too. It's called the illusion of transparency. This is a powerful, pervasive cognitive bias. Because you know your intentions, you subconsciously assume that your intentions are crystal clear to everyone else. In your head, you feel passionate about your project. In your head, your logical steps are perfectly connected. In your head, you are being clear, earnest, and compelling. You are so immersed in your own internal state that you believe it's being broadcast as if through a transparent window for all to see. But it's not. The audience can't see your good intentions. They can't feel your passion. They can't see the logical connections you forgot to say out loud because they were so obvious to you. All they see is what you project. They see your hunched shoulders. They hear your upward, questioning inflection at the end of a sentence that should have been a statement. They hear you use filler words, sort of, kind of, which your brain uses to plug the gaps while your PFC frantically searches for the next word. Your brain is lying to you. It's telling you you're being so clear, while your body and voice are screaming, "I'm nervous and I'm not 100% sure about this." Who does the listener's brain believe? Your words or the primal non-verbal danger signals your body is sending? Every single time, they will believe the primal signals. The fast brain trusts the fast brain. So, let's summarize the battlefield. You are a conflicted speaker, convinced you're being clear, illusion of transparency, while your own limbic system is leaking anxiety. You are broadcasting this message to a distracted listener whose limbic system is actively scanning for threats like boredom, confusion, or social danger. You are trying to have a smart brain conversation, but the fast brains, yours and theirs, are having a completely different conversation underneath. This is why you fail to connect. This is why you are not heard. This is why your best ideas die on the vine. So, what do? How do we fix this? This is where the good news comes in. Your brain is not your enemy. It's a system. The limbic system is not a wall, it's a door. And all doors have a key. Speaking smart is not about ignoring this biology. It's not about powering through or faking it till you make it. It's about using this biology to your advantage. It's about learning to speak the brain's native language. The old model of communication is logic first. You try to convince the prefrontal cortex, hoping the limbic system will eventually catch up. This is a battle you will lose 99% of the time. The new model, the Speak Smart model, is biology first. The goal is to stop fighting the listener's security guard and instead to befriend them. You must learn to send the all-clear signal before you ever get to your main point. You must learn to make your listener's brain feel safe, engaged, and receptive. This book will teach you how to do it. You are going to learn how to master your own biology first. In the coming chapters, we will directly confront that pounding heart and that blank mind. We will explore the amygdala hijack, the primal panic of public speaking, and I will give you concrete neuro-based tools to rewire this fear response. You will learn to tame your inner critic, that relentless negativity bias that cuts you down before you even begin. Then you will learn to master your listener's biology. You will learn why empathy, the ability to read and influence the emotional state of another, is not a soft skill, but your most powerful persuasive tool. We'll explore mirror neurons and how you can use your own state to command the state of a room. You will learn how to structure your ideas for the prefrontal cortex, how to spoon-feed your logic to the CEO in a way that conserves their energy and makes them feel smart. And most importantly, you will learn how to bypass logic entirely and speak directly to the fast brain. You will learn how to use storytelling, metaphor, and emotional framing to hack the limbic system, to build trust, and to move people to action. This is not manipulation, this is translation. It's the difference between showing up in a foreign country and shouting in English louder and louder, hoping someone will understand you, and taking the time to learn the native language. The Speak Smart method is the native language of the human brain. When you master it, you will stop presenting and start connecting. You will stop talking and start influencing. You will no longer be the person who is taken into consideration. You will be the person whose voice carries weight, whose ideas are sought, and who can make things happen. But before we can learn to connect with anyone else, we must first win the war with ourselves. The most important, high-stakes communication you will ever have is the one that is sabotaged by your own primal panic. In the next chapter, we are going to confront that panic head-on. We are going to tame the alarm system that turns you from a smart speaker into a terrified animal. It's time to tame the primal panic. Your heart pounds, your palms sweat, your throat tightens. Your mind, just a moment ago filled with sharp, clear ideas, suddenly goes blank. It's like a trapdoor has opened in your stomach. You're not facing a predator. You're not standing on the edge of a cliff. You're in a meeting. You're about to give a presentation. You're simply waiting for your turn to speak. Why does your body betray you like this? Why does it react to a quarterly review as if it's a life or death emergency? This is the most common and most powerful block to speaking smart. Before you've said a single word, your own biology has sabotaged you. This intense physiological response isn't just nerves. It's not a weakness of character. It is a full-blown amygdala hijack. In the last chapter, we met the amygdala, that small almond-shaped part of your limbic system, the fast brain's hyper-vigilant security guard. Its only job is to scan for threats. And when it spots one, it pulls a fire alarm, hijacking control from your logical, smart brain. 2 million years ago, this system was your greatest asset. It was the thing that heard a twig snap and made you jump before your logical brain had time to ask, "I wonder what that was." It flooded your body with power, preparing you to either fight the saber-toothed tiger or run from it. But here is the critical, terrible mismatch of modern life. Your amygdala software has not been updated. To your ancient primal brain, the predator is no longer a tiger. The predator is a room full of staring faces. The predator is the threat of social judgment. The predator is the possibility that you will say something stupid, be rejected by the tribe, and lose your status. To your limbic system, this social death feels like a physical death. So, when you stand up to speak, your amygdala screams, "Threat!" And in less than a second, it triggers a devastating chemical cascade. First, it signals your adrenal glands to dump adrenaline, also called epinephrine, into your bloodstream. This is the go chemical. Your heart rate skyrockets to pump blood to your muscles. Your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, trying to gulp in more oxygen. Your pupils dilate, your palms sweat. This is your body preparing to run for your life. Second, a slower moving system called the HPA axis is activated, flooding your system with the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol is the stay vigilant chemical. It's the backup alarm, keeping your entire system on high alert. But here is the most important part, the part that directly sabotages your ability to speak smart. This entire fight or flight response is designed to shut down non-essential systems. And in a survival-level threat, what is the least essential system? Your logical, slow, energy-hungry prefrontal cortex. The part of your brain you need for complex thought, nuanced language, and strategic communication is intentionally taken offline. This is called cortical inhibition. Blood is literally shunted away from your smart brain and diverted to your thighs and biceps. Your brain is preparing your body to fight or flee, not to deliver a PowerPoint presentation. This is why your mind goes blank. This is why you can't find the simple word you were looking for. This is why you revert to rambling or just freezing completely. You haven't failed. You're not bad at public speaking. Your system is working perfectly. Your body's ancient survival mechanism has successfully and completely taken over. You are physically, biochemically incapable of speaking smart. So what can we do? We are trapped in a biological paradox. We need our smart brain to be at its best, but the very act of needing it triggers a fast brain response that shuts it down. For decades, the advice has been useless. Just picture them in their underwear. Just calm down. Just pretend to be confident. This is like telling someone who is on fire to just feel cooler. It's insulting because it doesn't address the biochemical reality of what is happening. Here is the truth. You cannot stop the alarm from ever ringing. The amygdala is fast. It will always get the first punch. But you can learn to control the volume. You can learn to control the duration. You don't have to let that initial spark become a raging inferno. You can become the master of this system, not its victim. The solution is a three-part process. It's not a mind trick. It is a conscious, strategic method for rewiring this ancient alarm system. It involves a cognitive shift, a physical shift, and an environmental shift. 1. The cognitive shift. Relabel your arousal. When your heart starts to pound, what is the first thought that goes through your mind? It's probably, "Oh no, I'm so nervous. This is terrible. I'm panicking. They're going to see me shaking." This thought, this label, is a confirmation to your amygdala. You have just told your brain, yes, the threat is real, panic harder. And your brain obliges, releasing more cortisol, and the downward spiral accelerates. But what if you used a different label? Researchers at Harvard Business School studied this exact problem. They found that anxiety and excitement are physiologically identical. Both are high arousal states. The only difference is the cognitive label you put on them. One is negative, a threat. The other is positive, an opportunity. The researchers took people who were terrified of public speaking, and instead of telling them to calm down, they instructed them to say 3 simple words out loud right before they spoke. I am excited. The results were astonishing. The group that relabeled their anxiety as excitement performed significantly better. They were more persuasive, more confident, and more poised. Why? Because that simple reframe, I am excited, is a command from your prefrontal cortex. You are telling your amygdala that this high arousal state is productive. It's not a threat to be feared, it's energy to be used. So, the next time you feel it, the next time your heart pounds and your palms get sweaty, I want you to make a conscious switch. Your old thought, I'm so nervous. Your new thought, my body is getting ready for a peak performance. This energy is going to make me more passionate and compelling. I am excited. You are transforming your anxiety into anticipation. This isn't faking it. It's a profound biological reinterpretation. You are shifting from a threat-based mindset to an opportunity-based mindset. This simple cognitive shift stops the panic spiral in its tracks. 2. The physical shift. Send the all-clear signal. Relabeling is powerful, but you're still full of adrenaline. Your amygdala sent the panic signal, and now it's listening to your body for feedback. And what is your body doing? You're breathing in short, shallow gasps. To your brain, this is the breathing pattern of, I am currently being chased by a predator. Your breathing is confirming the threat. We must manually break this loop. We have to use our body to send a conscious, all-clear signal back to the brain. The key is to take control of the one part of this system you can control, your breath. But not just any breath. You must use a specific technique that mechanically activates your body's brake pedal. This brake is called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest and most complex cranial nerve in your body. It's an information superhighway that wanders from your brainstem down through your neck, into your chest, and all the way to your gut. It is the main off switch for your fight or flight system. When you stimulate this nerve, you are sending a powerful signal directly to your amygdala that says, the threat is gone, we are safe, stand down. The fastest way to stimulate it is with controlled, rhythmic breathing. The military uses a version of this called box breathing. It's simple, it's invisible, and it works on a purely biochemical level. You can do it right now. You inhale slowly for a count of 4. You hold your breath for a count of 4. You exhale slowly for a count of 4. You hold the empty breath for a count of 4. And you repeat. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. What's happening in your body? That slow, controlled exhale is mechanically stimulating your vagus nerve. That stimulation is physically slowing your heart rate. It is physically lowering your cortisol levels. You are performing a manual override on your panic response. Let's put this in a real scenario. You are sitting at the conference table, and the CEO says, you're up next. The adrenaline hits, your heart thumps. Step 1, cognitive. You think to yourself, good, my body is getting excited. This is energy. Step 2, physical. You quietly begin your box breathing. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. You only need to do this 3 or 4 times. Within 30 seconds, you have stopped the amygdala hijack, slowed your heart, and, most critically, you have allowed blood to flow back to your prefrontal cortex. Your smart brain is coming back online. 3. The environmental shift. Find your anchor. You've relabeled, you've breathed, you are now standing up, and your prefrontal cortex is back in the game. But your amygdala is still scanning, still paranoid. It's looking at the tribe of faces in front of you, and it's looking for one thing: more threats. A frown, a bored look, someone checking their phone. If you scan the whole room, your amygdala will find a threat. It's inevitable. And that one frowning face can be enough to trigger the alarm all over again. You must consciously override this too. You must narrow your focus. Do not try to speak to the room. Do not try to make eye contact with everyone. Instead, I want you to find one person, just one. Find a friendly face. Find someone who is nodding or smiling or just looks open and receptive. This person is now your anchor. For the first 30 seconds of your presentation, speak only to them. This does 2 powerful things. First, it simplifies your world. Your brain is no longer speaking to a threatening tribe. It's having a one-on-one conversation with a safe person. This dramatically reduces the cognitive load and the perceived threat. Second, that person's positive micro-expressions, their nod, their smile, will be mirrored by your own brain. We'll cover mirror neurons in Chapter 4, but the short version is their safe signal will send more all-clear messages to your amygdala, further calming the system. After 30 seconds, when you feel that feedback loop of safety and confidence, you can find a second anchor, then a third. You are no longer public speaking. You are just connecting with one friendly person at a time. This isn't theory. This is a neurobiological toolkit. The primal panic is not a personality flaw. It's a biological mismatch. Your ancient software is colliding with your modern world. You are not your fear. You are the observer of your fear, and you are the master of the machine. You now have 3 powerful science-backed tools. Relabel, cognitive. Turn "I am anxious" into "I am excited." Breathe, physiological. Use box breathing to physically calm the amygdala via the vagus nerve. Anchor, environmental. Find one friendly face to signal safety and break the threat scan. These are not one-time fixes. They are rewiring tools. Every time you use them, you are practicing applied neuroplasticity. You are weakening the old, terrified pathway and building a new, powerful, and excited pathway. You are rewriting your brain's response to pressure. You have tamed the physical alarm. You have brought your smart brain back online. But now a new challenge emerges. You've calmed your body, but you still have to contend with the voice in your head. The one that's whispering, "This isn't going to work. You're going to sound stupid. You're a fraud." You've tamed the physical panic, but now you must win the mental war. In the next chapter, we will confront your worst enemy, your own inner critic. I'm going to sound stupid. They'll think I'm a fraud. I'll forget my point. Everyone here is smarter than I am. Does this sound familiar? Does your inner critic get the first and last word in every important conversation? In the last chapter, we confronted the primal physical panic of the amygdala hijack, the pounding heart, the sweaty palms, the blank mind. We learned how to use our breath and our focus to send a signal of safety to our body. We learned to relabel anxiety as excitement. You've tamed the alarm. You've brought your smart brain, your prefrontal cortex, back online. But just as the physical storm subsides, the mental one begins. A voice in your head, your own voice, starts to whisper. Then it starts to shout. It's your worst critic, your harshest judge, and it lives inside your own skull. It critiques you in real time, second-guessing every word you say as you say it. That sounded weak. You're rambling. They look bored. You're failing. This internal monologue is our worst enemy. It is a saboteur that undermines our confidence, robs us of our authority, and poisons our communication before we even have a chance. You can have the best structured argument and the calmest physiology, but if this voice is running the show, you've already lost. You might think this voice is just you, or a sign of imposter syndrome, or that you just need to be more confident. But it's none of those things. This is a deep-seated, ancient, and predictable function of your brain's hardware. It has a name, the negativity bias. And once you understand why it exists and how it works, you can finally learn to silence it. Your brain's primary job is not to make you happy. It is not to make you successful. It is not to make you a confident communicator. Your brain's one and only primary job is to keep you alive. It is a survival machine passed down through millions of years of evolution, and its motto is simple: better safe than sorry. To your ancient brain, survival meant remembering the one bad berry that made you sick, not the 10 good ones you ate. It meant remembering the one path where a predator was hiding, not the hundreds of safe paths you walked. Your brain evolved to be a threat detection system, and it developed a critical bias. It is hyper-attentive to negative information. Neuroscientists often describe it this way: your brain is like Teflon for good experiences and Velcro for bad ones. This bias is powerful, pervasive, and it dictates your reality. Let's put this in a modern, low-stakes scenario. Think about your last performance review. Your manager sits down with you and gives you a list of feedback. You get 9 distinct pieces of positive feedback. You're a great team player, your projects are always on time, clients love working with you, your analytical skills are top-notch, and so on. And then there is one piece of constructive criticism. One. In your next presentation, I'd like to see you be a bit more concise. That night, what are you thinking about as you try to fall asleep? Are you basking in the warm glow of the 9 compliments? Are you thinking, wow, I am really a top-notch, client-loving team player? Of course not. You are fixating with laser-like precision on that one negative comment. He thinks I'm a bad presenter. He thinks I ramble. I'm not concise. I'm failing. I'll probably get fired. This is the negativity bias in action. Your brain discards the 9 pieces of safe information and magnifies the 1 piece of threat information. It's treating that mild critique with the same red alert status as a predator in the bushes. Why? Because to your primal brain, that critique is a social threat. It's a threat of rejection from the tribe, which, for our ancestors, meant death. This isn't just a bad attitude. This is a physical process in your brain. In the last chapter, I promised we would discuss neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. Well, the negativity bias is where this concept turns against you. Every time you fixate on that one negative comment, every time you replay that "I'm not concise" feedback, you are practicing that thought. You are sending a signal down a specific neural pathway. And just like walking the same path in a forest, that pathway becomes clearer, wider, and easier to travel. You are strengthening the neural pathway for self-criticism. With enough repetition, that pathway becomes a superhighway. The thought, "I'm not good enough," is no longer a choice. It becomes your brain's automatic default. It becomes a deep, ingrained habit. This is why your inner critic is so fast and so powerful. You have spent years, decades, unconsciously training it. This negativity bias also forms a toxic feedback loop with the amygdala hijack we discussed in Chapter 2. Your inner critic whispers, "You're going to fail." Your amygdala, which can't tell the difference between a real threat and a thought, hears this and says, "A threat. She's right. We're going to fail." Panic. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. This physical panic then proves to your inner critic that it was right. "See," the voice says, "your heart is pounding. You are failing." And the spiral continues, pulling you down. So, how do we fight this? If your brain built this negative superhighway through repetition, it stands to reason that you can build a new one. We will fight biology with biology. We will use the very same tool of neuroplasticity that created the problem to forge the solution. The tool is called cognitive reframing. This is not positive thinking. This is not lying to yourself. This is not standing in the mirror chanting, "I am the world's greatest speaker." Your brain is too smart for that. It will reject hollow affirmations as a lie. Cognitive reframing is a logical, 3-step, active process. It's about becoming a detective of your own mind. It's about catching the automatic negative thought, challenging it with the logic of your smart brain, your prefrontal cortex, and then consciously replacing it with a thought that is more accurate, more constructive, and more productive. You are going to learn to be the architect of your own thoughts, not the victim of them. The process is catch, challenge, change. Step 1. Catch the thought. This is the hardest part because these thoughts are automatic and lightning fast. They feel like you, but they are not. They are habits. The first step is to create separation. You must practice mindfulness and learn to observe your own thoughts as if you're standing on the side of a road watching cars go by. A thought is just a brain event. It is not truth. You're about to walk into a negotiation. The thought pops up, "They're going to walk all over me." In the past, you would have just accepted this thought as reality. Now, you catch it. You mentally hold it up and say, "Ah, interesting, there it is, the I'm going to fail thought. The negativity bias is flaring up again." Just by noticing it, you have already done something profound. You have activated your prefrontal cortex. You have shifted from being in your fast brain, reactive, emotional, to using your smart brain, observing, analytical. You've taken the steering wheel back. Step 2. Challenge the thought. Once you've caught the thought, you must put it on trial. You have to cross-examine it like a hostile witness. Your prefrontal cortex becomes the lawyer. Ask it these simple questions. Is this thought 100% true? The thought is, they're going to walk all over me. Is that 100% true? How could I possibly know the future? No, it is not 100% true. It's a prediction, and a negative one at that. What is the evidence against this thought? Your PFC can now access your memory. What's the evidence? Well, I prepared for this negotiation for 2 weeks. I know my numbers. I have a walk-away point. I successfully handled that difficult client last month. Is this thought productive? Does thinking they're going to walk all over me help me achieve my goal? No. It makes me defensive. It fills me with cortisol. It makes me weaker. It is a useless, destructive thought. You have now broken the thought's power. You've exposed it as a lie, an exaggeration, and a non-productive habit. Step 3. Change the thought, the reframe. You cannot leave a void. If you just stop the negative thought, the old superhighway is still there, and your brain will go right back to it. You must replace it. You must start paving a new path. This new thought, the reframe, must be believable and productive. Bad reframe. I'm going to dominate this negotiation and be the greatest negotiator ever. Your brain will reject this. Good reframe. I am well prepared for this negotiation. I know my value and my numbers. My job is to clearly and confidently state my case. I can't control what they do, but I can control my performance. I am ready to have a professional, strong conversation. Let's apply this to our speaking smart scenario. You're sitting in the audience waiting for your name to be called. The thought hits. Catch. I'm going to sound like an idiot. Everyone here is smarter than me. You pause. There it is, the old not smart enough habit. My negativity bias is trying to protect me from the social risk of the tribe. Challenge. Is it 100% true that everyone here is smarter than me? That's statistically impossible. I was invited to speak for a reason. I am the expert on my topic. Is this thought productive? No, it's making me panic. Change. The reframe. My inner critic is just a faulty alarm. The truth is, I know this material inside and out. My goal is not to be the smartest person in the room. My goal is to share value and be clear. I'm feeling that energy in my chest. I will relabel that as excitement. Chapter 2. I am ready to connect with my audience. Do you see the power in this? You have used your smart brain to disarm your fast brain. You have taken control of your internal narrative. Now, I must be very clear. This will feel fake at first. It will feel hard. It will feel like you're lying to yourself. Good. That feeling of fakeness or difficulty is the sensation of neuroplasticity. It's the feeling of your brain bushwhacking a new path through the jungle. The old path is wide and easy. The new path is covered in vines and requires effort. But every single time you complete this 3-step process, you are running a lap on that new path. You are clearing it. You are widening it. You are reinforcing it. The first time, it's a mental battle. The 10th time, it's a little easier. The 100th time, the new thought starts to become the default. The 1000th time, the I am ready to share value pathway is your new superhighway. The old self-critical path grows over with weeds from disuse. You have to do the reps. This is mental weightlifting. You are sculpting your brain. You have now begun to master your internal world. You've learned to manage the physical panic of the amygdala hijack and the mental sabotage of the negativity bias. You've brought your prefrontal cortex back online and taken control of your own narrative. You have won the war in your head. Now you are finally ready to speak smart to other people. You are ready to turn your focus outward. You've mastered your biology. Now it's time to understand theirs. The greatest communicators are not great speakers. They are expert listeners and readers of the human mind. In the next chapter, we will explore your listener's brain. You will learn why empathy is not a soft skill, but your most powerful strategic tool for connection and persuasion. What if you could read your audience's mind? What if you could tell, in real time, the exact moment they got confused, the moment they got bored, the moment they felt defensive, and, most importantly, the moment they were truly open to your idea? This isn't science fiction. You can do this. Or rather, your brain is already equipped to do this. You just haven't been taught how to use the machinery. The greatest communicators, the ones who speak smart, are not the ones with the best vocabulary or the loudest voice. They aren't great speakers at all. They are expert listeners. They are elite-level observers of other people's biology. In the last 2 chapters, we've done the essential internal work. We've learned to tame your own amygdala hijack, that primal panic that shuts down your smart brain. We've learned to win the war in your head, using cognitive reframing to silence your inner critic and defeat the negativity bias. You have brought your prefrontal cortex back online. You have taken control of your own machine. You are now calm, centered, and clear. And here is where 99% of people fail. They take that hard-won clarity and they use it to do one thing: broadcast. They stand up and they talk, they present, they inform, they data dump. They are so completely focused on their performance, their script, and their message that they are 100% blind and deaf to the only thing that actually matters: the brain of the listener. We talk at people. We never stop to check if anyone is receiving the signal. Think of the expert presenter. He's technically brilliant. He has 84 slides, all filled with dense charts and bullet points. He speaks in a steady, confident monotone, his eyes fixed on the back wall or on his own screen. He doesn't pause, he doesn't ask questions, he just transmits. Now look at his audience. 5 minutes in, you see the polite, fixed smile, the mask people wear when they've given up trying to follow. 10 minutes in, you see the middle-distance stare, as their prefrontal cortex has officially given up, and they're now planning their weekend. 15 minutes in, the phones come out. That speaker is a communication failure. He thinks he is doing his job, but he is just making noise in a room. He is completely, utterly disconnected from his listeners. This is the broadcaster fallacy, the belief that communication is a one-way street, that if I say it, you hear it. If I present it, you understand it. This is biologically, fundamentally wrong. Communication is not a monologue. It is a feedback loop. It is a two-way biological dance. And the key to this dance is a remarkable system in your brain called mirror neurons. Discovered in the 1990s, mirror neurons are a class of brain cells that fire in a very special way. They fire when you perform an action, and they also fire when you watch someone else perform that same action. If I pick up a cup of coffee, a set of neurons fire in my brain. If you watch me pick up that cup, a similar set of neurons fire in your brain. It's as if, in your mind, you are picking up the cup too. But it's not just for actions, it's for emotions and intentions. When you see someone wince in pain, you instinctively flinch. Your mirror neurons are firing, simulating that pain in your own mind. When you see someone smile with genuine joy, your own smile-related neurons fire, and you feel a little jolt of that joy. This is why a genuine, full-room laugh is so contagious. This is the biological foundation of empathy. Your brain is hardwired to mirror the internal state of the brains around it. Now, think about what this means for you as a communicator. This system is always on. When you stand up to speak, your audience's mirror neurons are locking onto you. They are unconsciously simulating your internal state. If you are standing there, heart pounding, full of anxiety and cortisol, Chapter 2, projecting nervousness and fear, what do you think their brains are mirroring? They are mirroring your anxiety. Your fast brain is sending a danger signal that their fast brain is catching. Before you've even presented your first data point, you have made their limbic systems feel unsafe. They don't know why they feel uneasy or why they suddenly distrust you, they just do. If you are standing there reciting your script, bored with your own material, just phoning it in, what are their brains mirroring? Boredom. You are biologically projecting your disengagement onto them, and their brains are dutifully following you into a state of checking out. Your internal state is contagious. You cannot tell an audience to be excited while projecting anxiety. You cannot tell them your idea is compelling while projecting boredom. They will always trust the primal, non-verbal signal your mirror neurons are broadcasting, and they will ignore the words you are saying. But that's only half the problem. Let's say you have mastered your state. You're calm, you're excited, as we learned in Chapter 2, you're passionate. You're broadcasting all the right signals. You can still fail. This is because of the second major barrier, cognitive load. Think of your prefrontal cortex, your smart brain, as having a very small battery. A tiny, smartphone-sized battery that starts at 100% in the morning. And everything you do, every decision, every email, every complex thought drains that battery. This battery hates being overworked. The brain is an energy conservation machine. When it's forced to do heavy lifting, it looks for any and all excuses to stop. When you, the speaker, are disorganized, when you ramble, when you use dense jargon, when you present confusing slides, when you bury your one key point in a mountain of 20 secondary points, you are forcing your listener's brain to do all the work. You are forcing them to organize your mess. You are forcing them to figure out what your point is. You are forcing them to translate your jargon. This imposes a massive cognitive load. It's a brain tax, and their brain will not pay it. It is too much work. It is too taxing. The prefrontal cortex, feeling its battery drain at an alarming rate, will simply disengage. It will stop processing your words as a defense mechanism to conserve energy. This is the moment the middle distance stare begins. It's not that they're rude, it's that their brain is full. You have overloaded their circuits. So let's combine these two biological forces. Most communication attempts look like this. The speaker is nervous, projecting danger via mirror neurons, and they are rambling, imposing high cognitive load. The listener's brain is simultaneously feeling threatened from the mirrored anxiety and exhausted from the cognitive load. The result is inevitable: total disengagement. The fast brain says, "He's anxious, this is unsafe." And the smart brain says, "This is too hard, I'm tired." The listener has no choice but to shut you out. So, what is the solution? The solution is to stop being a broadcaster and to start being an empathy expert. I don't mean empathy in the soft, touchy-feely sense. I mean active empathy. This is a strategic tool. It is the conscious skill of reading the biological state of your listener in real time and adjusting your communication to manage that state. It's the difference between being a lighthouse, blasting the same light in all directions, and being a laser, adjusting your aim based on the target. This gives you two new, powerful tools. Tool 1. Pacing and leading. This is how you consciously use mirror neurons to your advantage. It's a two-step process for building instant, subconscious rapport. Step 1. Pacing. You cannot force someone to come to your level. You must first meet them where they are. This is pacing. You subtly, respectfully mirror them. Is your listener speaking quickly, in short, clipped, all-business sentences? You match that pace. Don't be a robot, but reflect their energy. Are they leaning back, speaking slowly and thoughtfully? You lean back. You slow down. What this does is send a powerful subconscious signal to their limbic system. I am like you. I am part of your tribe. I am safe. You are intentionally activating their mirror neurons to create a feeling of trust and rapport before you even get to your point. Step 2. Leading. Once you feel that connection, once you've paced them for a minute and you sense you're in sync, then you begin to lead. You slowly shift your own state. You gradually make your voice a little calmer, a little slower. You gradually open your posture. You gradually breathe more deeply. Because their mirror neurons are now locked onto you, a remarkable thing will happen. They will follow you. Without ever realizing it, their breathing will slow. Their posture will open. You have led them from their state of agitation or boredom or defensiveness into your state, one of calm, open receptiveness. You have used their biology to create the perfect mental environment for your message. Tool 2. Become a cognitive load detective. From now on, you must divide your attention. 50% of your brain is on your message. The other 50% is scanning your audience for signs of cognitive overload. You must learn to spot the micro-cues. The furrowed brow. This is the universal sign of confusion. Their PFC is working too hard to understand you. The middle distance stare. They are gone. You've lost them. Their brain has disengaged. The polite fixed smile. This is the worst sign. It means they have given up and are just waiting for you to stop talking. The fidget, checking the phone, tapping the pen, shuffling papers. Their brain is so bored or confused it's seeking any other stimulus. The moment you see any of these signs, you must stop. Do not power through. Do not talk louder. That is like yelling at a computer that has frozen. You must hit the reset button. You must change the pattern. The easiest way? Ask a direct, engaging question. If you see the furrowed brow, you stop and say, "I just used a lot of jargon. Let me rephrase that." A simpler way to say this is, if you see the middle distance stare, you stop and say, "I've been talking for a while. Let me pause. Name, from your perspective, does this track with what you're seeing?" If you see the polite smile, you stop and say, "Okay, that's a ton of data. Let me be really clear. The one thing that matters on this slide is this number right here. This is the one that impacts all of us." This pattern interrupt pulls them back. It breaks their state. It re-engages their prefrontal cortex, and most importantly, it tells their brain, "This isn't a lecture, it's a dialogue. Pay attention." It signals that you see them, it signals empathy, and that makes them feel safe. This is the art of speaking smart. It is a dialogue, not a monologue, even when you are the only one speaking. You've learned to manage your inner state. Now you are learning to read and manage their inner state. You have built a bridge of trust. Their limbic system feels safe. Their mirror neurons are synced with your calm confidence. Their prefrontal cortex is engaged because you are actively managing their cognitive load. They are finally ready to hear your smart idea. But what do you say? Now that you have their full, undivided, biologically receptive attention, how do you structure your message to be clear, memorable, and powerful? That is the next step. It's time to speak to the prefrontal cortex. Have you ever listened to someone for 5 minutes straight and thought, "What is their point?" You're nodding, you're smiling, but inside, your brain is screaming. You've been assaulted by a tidal wave of facts, anecdotes, tangents, and oh, by the ways. The speaker, who is clearly smart and passionate, finishes their monologue and looks at you expectantly. And you have nothing. You've retained almost zero. You're just exhausted. Now, be honest. How many times have you been that person? Clarity isn't a gift. It's not something you're born with. Clarity is a design. It is the result of a conscious, deliberate choice. In the last chapter, we did the most delicate work. We learned to be empathy experts. We used active empathy and our mirror neurons to build rapport. We paced and led our listener, calming their fast brain and building a bridge of trust. We learned to be cognitive load detectives, watching for the furrowed brow or the middle distance stare and pulling our audience back. You have done all this hard work. You have tamed your own biology. You have befriended their biology. Their fast brain feels safe. Their mirror neurons are synced with your calm, excited energy. Their smart brain, their prefrontal cortex, is finally online, engaged, and leaning in. The CEO's door is wide open. This is the moment of truth. And this, tragically, is the exact moment most of us fail. We take this precious, hard-won attention and we squander it. We squander it by being disorganized. We squander it by rambling. We squander it by giving a brain dump of everything we know instead of delivering only what they need. We think we're being thorough, but we're actually being inconsiderate. We think we're showing our work, but we're just making them do all the work. We bury our one key message in an avalanche of disconnected details. This isn't just a style problem, this is a profound biological problem. When you are unstructured, you are making a direct physical assault on your listener's brain. And you are fighting a war against a tiny, overworked, and incredibly impatient part of their biology, working memory. Your listener's brain is not a recording device. It is not a vast, empty hard drive waiting for you to pour your files into it. A much better analogy is to think of their prefrontal cortex as having a tiny mental workbench. This is their working memory. It's the temporary RAM of the brain. It's the mental space where they hold new information, compare it to old information, and try to make sense of it all. And here is the terrifying biological fact. That workbench is tiny. In the 1950s, a cognitive psychologist named George Miller published a now famous paper, The Magical Number 7 ± 2. His research suggested that the average person's working memory can only hold about 5 to 9 chunks of new information at a time. More recent research suggests it's even less, maybe as few as 4 or 5. 4 or 5. While you are on your 11th bullet point, your listener's brain ran out of space on its workbench at bullet point 4. Now, let's see what really happens when you speak. When you are disorganized, when you just ramble in a stream of consciousness style, you aren't handing your listener a clean, finished product. You are dumping a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle on their tiny workbench and saying, "Here, figure this out. You see the picture, right?" Their brain, their poor overtaxed prefrontal cortex, frantically tries to keep up. It picks up a piece. Okay, a sales figure from Q2. And then you throw it another piece. Oh, and a story about what my colleague said. And another. And here's a different data point from last year. The workbench is full. It's a mess. The brain, which hates chaos and hates wasting energy, is now in a state of high cognitive load. As we discussed in the last chapter, this is a tax. It's painful. And what does the brain do when it's overloaded and frustrated? It quits. It doesn't just miss the new information, it dumps the entire workbench. It deletes everything to protect itself. It's the Control-Alt-Delete of the mind. This is the biological reason why, 30 seconds after you finished your disorganized monologue, the listener will often say, "So, wait, what was your point again?" You didn't just fail to communicate, you forced their brain to forget what you said. So, what is the solution? You must stop being a stream of consciousness speaker. You must stop being a data dumper. You must become the chief organizing officer for your listener's brain. From now on, your number one job is no longer just to deliver your message. It is to make that message effortless to process. You must do 100% of the organizational work on your side, so their brain has to do 0% of the work on theirs. Your goal is to hand them a finished product, a clean, simple, pre-packaged, pre-organized idea that their prefrontal cortex can look at, understand, and instantly put to use. How do we do this? We use structure. Structure is the filing system you are building inside your listener's mind. And here are the most powerful, brain-friendly structures you can use. Tool 1. The one thing rule. Before you ever open your mouth, before a meeting, a call, a presentation, you must be able to answer this one question. What is the one thing I want them to remember? If you can't say it in a single, clear, compelling sentence, you are not ready to speak. This one thing is your North Star. It's the headline for your entire message. It's the label on the outside of the filing cabinet you're about to give them. Weak, no one thing. I want to talk about our Q3 marketing performance. That's a topic, not a point. Strong, one thing. Our new ad strategy is working, and I want to double our investment in it. Weak, no one thing. I'm here to give you an update on the project. A status report, boring. Strong, one thing. The project is off track, and I need one specific decision from you today to fix it. This one thing sentence does all the work for their brain. It tells them what to think. It frames everything else you're about to say. Tool 2. The power of 3. The human brain does not like lists of 7 or 9 or 12. It loves the number 3. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Stop, look, and listen. Beginning, middle, and end. Blood, sweat, and tears. 3 is a pattern. It feels stable, it feels complete, and it fits perfectly on the brain's tiny workbench. Once you have your one thing, you will support it with 3 points. Not 2, not 4, 3. Our new ad strategy is working, and I want to double our investment. There are 3 reasons why. First, our click-through rate is up 50%. Second, our cost per lead is down 20%. And third, the sales team reports these are the highest quality leads they've ever seen. Look at what you just did. You gave their brain a clean, simple package. Filing cabinet label, double the ad investment. 3 drawers. 1, better clicks. 2, cheaper leads. 3, higher quality. Their brain doesn't have to work at all. It just has to receive. The idea is ingested, processed, and remembered instantly. Tool 3. Signposting. Be the tour guide. Signposting is the most powerful tool for audio, and it's criminally underused. You must become a tour guide for your listener's brain. You have to tell them where you are going before you go there. You have to tell them where you are while you're there, and you have to tell them where you've been when you're done. This eliminates all cognitive load. It destroys confusion. It allows the listener's brain to relax and simply follow you. The opener, the map. Good morning. I'm here to ask for a larger ad budget, the one thing. To show you why, I'm going to do 3 things. First, I'll quickly show you the problem with our current budget. Second, I'll present the 3 key results from our new test. And finally, I'll lay out the exact plan and the return on investment you can expect. Analysis. Their brain loves this. It has a perfect mental map. It relaxes. It knows it's in good hands. The transitions. The "you are here" sign. Okay, that was the problem. Now let's move to the second part, the 3 exciting results from our test. So, we've seen the problem and the results. Now we're at the final step, the plan. Analysis. You are holding their hand, guiding them from one room to the next. It is impossible for them to get lost. The closer, the recap. So, today we covered the problem of our flat budget, the 3 powerful results from our new ads, and the clear plan for the future. I'm confident that if we double our investment, we will see a major return. This level of structure may feel robotic or on the nose to you, but to your listener, it feels like a revelation. It feels like you are the clearest, sharpest, most organized person they've ever met. Tool 4. The go-to framework. Problem, solution, benefit. If you are ever stuck, use this three-part framework. It works for 90% of all communication. It's powerful because it maps directly to how the brain wants to receive information. Problem. Start here. Define the pain. This immediately hooks the fast brain, the limbic system, which is wired to pay attention to threats and problems. Example. For the last 6 months, our team's morale has been dropping. We've seen a 20% increase in missed deadlines. We have a problem. Everyone in the room is now listening. Solution. Now that you have their attention, present your clear solution. This engages the smart brain, the PFC. Example. My solution is to implement Focus Fridays, 1 day a week with 0 internal meetings, allowing for deep work. Benefit. This is the most important part. You must answer the brain's favorite question. What's in it for me? This is the reward that makes the listener want to act. Example. By doing this, we will not only hit our deadlines again, but we will also reduce burnout and make this a place where people actually want to work. We'll get our best work back. Let's see the difference. Before, rambling, no structure. Hey boss, so I was thinking, we have a lot of meetings and I was in one yesterday and it just went on and Bill was talking about his thing and honestly, I'm just so busy and I think the team is too. And maybe we could try to be more efficient. I had an idea about agendas. Result. The boss's brain is working, frustrated and confused. Total cognitive overload. After, speaking smart, structure. Boss, I have one idea that I believe will give our team back 5 hours a week. One thing plus benefit. I've identified a problem. Our meeting inefficiency is costing us. I have a solution, a 3-point agenda system for every meeting. And the benefit is a 50% reduction in meeting time. PSB framework. I can walk you through the 3 steps to implement it right now. Rule of 3 plus signpost. Result. The boss's brain is effortlessly processing. The idea is clean, clear, and powerful. You have now spoken with lethal effectiveness to the prefrontal cortex. You have respected its limits. You have honored its need for order. You have made your smart idea easy to process, easy to remember, and easy to agree with. You have informed them. You have convinced their logic. But is that enough? Logic gets a nod of the head. Logic gets a, that's a smart idea. Logic does not get people to quit their jobs and follow you. Logic does not get a standing ovation. Logic does not inspire a team to do the impossible. To do that, you must go deeper. You've won their smart brain. Now you must win their fast brain. You must go beyond informing and learn to inspire. It's time to hack the limbic system. You did it. You followed the Speak Smart method from Chapter 5 to perfection. You walked into that high-stakes meeting. You had your one thing. You had your rule of 3. You used the problem, solution, benefit framework. You were a master of clarity. You were the chief organizing officer for their brains, and they loved it. You could see it. They were nodding. They were impressed. Your boss looked at you and said, "This is excellent. A very smart, logical, well-structured plan. Thank you for that." You walked out feeling great. And then, nothing happened. A week later, you hear the project wasn't funded. The decision went another way. Your logical, airtight, perfect case failed. Why? You've just slammed headfirst into the most powerful wall in communication. You've just discovered the hard way that a convinced mind is not the same as a compelled mind. You won their smart brain, their logical prefrontal cortex, but you never even spoke to the part that actually makes the decision. You never spoke to the engine. Welcome to the fast brain, the limbic system, and it has just vetoed your smart brain's logic. We believe, especially in the professional world, that we are rational beings. We believe we make decisions based on data, spreadsheets, and facts. This is the single greatest delusion of modern life. As the renowned neuroscientist Antonio Damasio put it, We are not thinking machines that feel. We are feeling machines that think. Every decision you have ever made, from what car you bought, to where you live, to who you married, was not a logical choice. It was an emotional choice that your logical prefrontal cortex then justified after the fact. Your smart brain is not the CEO. It is the press secretary. It's the PR department, hired to write a logical-sounding press release for a decision the fast brain has already made. You can't logic someone into a decision they feel is wrong. You can't logic them into taking a risk. You can't logic them into being motivated. Logic informs, emotion moves. So let's look at the biology of that movement. If you want to motivate someone, to get them to act, to sign the check, to approve the project, to follow you, you must speak the native language of the limbic system. And that language is not data. It is dopamine. Now, you've probably heard of dopamine. It's often called the pleasure chemical. This is a massive oversimplification. Dopamine is not the chemical of having. It is the chemical of wanting. It is the hormone of anticipation, of motivation, of pursuit. It's the chemical that is released in your brain when you are about to get the reward. It's the get ready, something good is coming. It's the gas pedal. It's the engine. Let's put this in a real-world scenario. You're a sales leader pitching a new, complex software platform to a client. The logical PFC pitch. This new software platform will integrate your 14 data streams into one central dashboard, leveraging AI to optimize your workflow and increase team efficiency by an estimated 28%. The listener's brain. Their prefrontal cortex is dutifully processing this. It's hearing integration, AI, and 28%. It is thinking. But is it feeling? Is it motivated? No. A spreadsheet has never triggered a dopamine rush. Now let's try a speak smart, limbic system-focused pitch. The limbic dopamine pitch. I want you to imagine next Tuesday. Imagine that 3 p.m. feeling of frustration when you're trying to find that one number for your boss. You've got 6 tabs open, you're stressed, you're annoyed. Now I want you to imagine another next Tuesday. One where you lean back, open one clean dashboard, and with one click, the exact number you need is just there. Can you feel that? That feeling of total control, of effortlessness? That is what I'm here to give you. What did you just do? You didn't sell a product, you sold a feeling. You didn't sell features, you sold a dopamine hit. By painting a picture of frustration-free and total control, you caused their brain to simulate that future reward. You gave them a taste of the anticipated pleasure, and that released a small, powerful hit of dopamine, which opened their mind and motivated them to want what you have. You stopped selling the logic, the platform, and started selling the emotional change, the feeling of relief. You are not selling the car. You are selling the feeling of freedom on the open road. You are not selling the gym membership. You are selling the feeling of confidence you'll have on the beach. You are not selling the data. You are selling the feeling of being the smartest, most in control person in the room. This is the key. But how do you package it? You can't just walk around describing feelings. You need a vehicle. You need a delivery system that is designed to carry emotion and dopamine straight into the limbic system, bypassing all the logical defenses. That vehicle is storytelling. A story is, quite simply, data wrapped in emotion. It is the single most powerful communication technology ever invented. It is the Trojan horse of the mind. It allows you to sneak your logic, your Chapter 5 message, past the high defensive walls of the fast brain by cloaking it in the one thing that brain cannot resist, a compelling narrative. When you just present facts, like our efficiency is down 28%, you only activate 2 small, boring parts of your listener's brain, the language centers, known as Wernicke's area for understanding words, and Broca's area for processing grammar. Their brain is translating, not experiencing. But the moment you say, "Let me tell you a story," a neurochemical miracle happens. As you tell a story, the listener's entire brain begins to light up. When you describe running through the office, your listener's motor cortex, the movement center, activates as if they are running. When you describe the smell of stale coffee in the conference room, their olfactory cortex, the smell center, activates. When you describe the feeling of frustration, their insular cortex, an emotion center, activates, and they feel that frustration too. This is called neural coupling. It is the closest thing we have to a real-life mind meld. As you tell the story, the pattern of your brain activity, your emotional state, your sensory experience is recreated inside your listener's brain. Their brain literally begins to synchronize with yours. You are no longer two separate people, a presenter and a listener. You are, for a few moments, one mind, sharing a single simulated experience. The I versus you barrier dissolves, and it just becomes us. This is the deepest connection possible, and it triggers the release of our second critical hormone, oxytocin. If dopamine is the "I want that" chemical, oxytocin is the "I trust you" chemical. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It's the chemical that is released when a mother holds her newborn child. It's the chemical that builds profound bonds of loyalty and trust in teams. It's the tribal chemical, the one that tells the limbic system, "This person is one of us. They are safe. We can lower our defenses." When you tell a compelling, vulnerable, or human-centric story, you are giving your listener's brain a shot of oxytocin. This is lethally persuasive. Think about it. In a 5-minute presentation, you can literally change your listener's brain chemistry. You can take them from a defensive state, high cortisol, to a motivated state, high dopamine, to a trusting state, high oxytocin. A person in this state is not just convinced by your logic. They are connected to you. They trust you, and they are motivated to act. So, how do we do this? How do we turn our boring logic from Chapter 5 into a limbic hacking story? You upgrade your problem-solution benefit framework. You stop stating and you start storytelling. Let's go back to that team morale pitch from the last chapter. Problem: team morale is down 20%. Solution: we should implement Focus Fridays. Benefit: we'll reduce burnout and hit our deadlines. Result: a logical nod. Interesting idea. Now, let's upgrade it for the limbic system. New limbic story version. Problem: the story. I sat down with Sarah from the design team last Thursday. I asked her how she was doing, and she was quiet for a second, and then she just started to cry. She was holding her phone, which had 94 unread notifications. She said, "I love my job, but I haven't done any real work in a month. I can't think." Mirror neurons plus oxytocin. Solution: the story. Now I want you to imagine a different Sarah. Imagine it's next Friday. The out of office is on. Slack is muted. There's a sign on the door. And Sarah has 4 hours of pure, uninterrupted flow. She has her headphones on, she's in the zone, she's designing again. Imagine the smile on her face. That is Focus Fridays. Dopamine. Benefit: the story. This isn't about reducing burnout as an abstract metric. This is about giving Sarah and our other best people the space to do the work they love. This is how we not only hit our deadlines, but how we keep our best people from walking out the door. Do you feel the difference? The first version was data. It was forgettable. The second version was an experience. It was visceral. You felt Sarah's pain. You wanted her to have that Focus Friday. You didn't just hear the logic, you felt the truth. This is the power you now hold. You have mastered the smart brain with structure and clarity, and now you have the keys to the fast brain with emotion and story. You can win the head, and you can win the heart. But there is one more channel of communication, one that is faster than your stories, faster than your logic, one that your listener's fast brain is reading constantly. It's the message you are sending before you ever open your mouth. It's your body, it's your voice, it's your presence. You can have the best logic and the best story, but if your body is screaming, "I am not confident," that is the only message they will hear. In the next chapter, we will master the silent, powerful nonverbal code. It's time to learn the biology of presence. Why does one person walk into a room and instantly own it? You've seen this. Two people walk into a meeting. Both are equally qualified. Both are about to present. The first person shuffles in, hunched over, eyes darting around. They sit down and seem to disappear. The second person walks in. Their shoulders are back, their chin is up. They move with a smooth, deliberate pace. They take their seat, and without saying a single word, they have already captured the room's full attention. Everyone is waiting for them to speak. This is presence. And we are taught to believe it's a gift, an it factor, a mystical charisma that you are either born with or you are not. That is a complete and total lie. Presence is not magic, it is biology. It is not a gift, it is a signal. It is a silent, non-verbal code that you are broadcasting every second of every day. And your listeners are reading that code, whether you know it or not. In the previous chapters, we have done the hard work. We mastered our internal state, taming the amygdala hijack and silencing the inner critic. We learned to read our listener's brain, using empathy to manage their cognitive load. We built a logical case for their smart brain, Chapter 5, and a compelling story for their fast brain, Chapter 6. You have crafted the perfect message. And yet, all of that work can be completely and instantly vetoed if your body is telling a different story. This is the great unspoken paradox of communication. We obsess over the words we say, the 7% of our message. But we ignore the other 93%, our vocal tone, 38%, and our body language, 55%. Let's test this. Imagine I say two words to you. I'm fine. Scenario A. I say it with an open posture, a warm smile, and a downward, reassuring inflection. Scenario B. I say it with my arms crossed, avoiding eye contact, and in a high, tight, clipped tone. Do the words "I'm fine" mean the same thing? Of course not. The words are irrelevant. The biology is the message. In scenario B, you know I am the opposite of fine. Your brain instantly discards my words and believes my nonverbal signals. And here is the critical, terrifying truth. Your listener's brain is processing your nonverbal code thousands of times faster than it is processing your words. While your prefrontal cortex is busy trying to deliver that brilliant logic from Chapter 5, your listener's fast brain has already scanned your body and your voice, and it has already made a decision about whether you are to be trusted, respected, or dismissed. How? In Chapter 2, we talked about the amygdala's crude threat or safety scan, but it's even deeper than that. This is the realm of polyvagal theory, a concept developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. Think of it as your body's ancient internal surveillance system. It's an unconscious process your nervous system uses to scan other nervous systems for cues of safety or danger. Porges calls this neuroception. You are not thinking it. Your biology is feeling it. And this system is obsessed with the signals you are sending. When you stand up to speak, your audience's collective nervous systems are all scanning you, asking one primal question. Is this person a threat or are they safe? A threat in the modern world isn't a predator. It's a person who is anxious, unpredictable, shifty, or weak. Let's look at the danger signals you are leaking without realizing it. The danger signal of the voice. When you are nervous, your vocal cords physically tighten, a function of the vagus nerve in a freeze response. Your voice becomes higher-pitched, thinner, and shakier. To your listener's ancient brain, this high-pitched sound is a distress call. It is the sound of a mammal in a panic. It biologically signals danger, weakness, and alarm to everyone in the room. The danger signal of the eyes. When you are scared, your eyes dart around. You are looking for an escape route. You are scanning for more threats. To your listener, this shifty eye contact signals untrustworthiness. It signals this person is afraid, maybe they are lying. The danger signal of the body. When you feel threatened, you instinctively make yourself smaller. You hunch your shoulders forward. You cave your chest in. You are subconsciously shielding your vital organs, your heart and lungs from attack. This closed posture is the universal sign of fear and submission. Now put it all together. You walk to the front of the room. Your smart brain is ready to deliver a brilliant pitch. But your body is hunched, your eyes are darting, and your voice is tight and high. You have just, in less than a second, broadcasted danger, weakness, and untrustworthy to the fast brain of every single person in that room. Their defenses are up, their limbic systems are on alert, and their arms are crossed. And now you're going to try to hit them with your logic and story? You've lost before you've even begun. The solution is that you must master this code. You must stop leaking signals of danger and start consciously broadcasting signals of safety and authority. This is not about faking it till you make it. That's bad advice. Your brain is too smart for that. This is about embodied cognition, the biological feedback loop where your body changes your mind. You will use your body to convince your own brain that you are safe. And in doing so, you will broadcast that safety to everyone else. This is a two-part solution. We will master your body, and then we will master your voice. Part 1. The body. How to broadcast safety. You've probably heard of power posing. That research, which linked expansive postures to hormonal changes, lower cortisol, higher testosterone, has been debated. But the core principle of embodied cognition is rock solid. It's a two-way street. Your mind absolutely affects your body, but your body also affects your mind. You cannot feel crippling panic and simultaneously maintain an open, grounded, expansive posture. The two are neurologically incompatible. You can use your body to break the fear loop in your brain. So here is your new pre-game ritual. The problem: 5 minutes before your big presentation. What are you doing? You are huddled in a chair, scrolling anxiously on your phone. You are making yourself small. The solution: the expansion ritual. You must do the opposite. Find a private space, a bathroom stall, a stairwell, an empty office. And for 2 minutes, you are going to take up space. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Roll your shoulders back and down. Open your chest. Imagine a string pulling the center of your chest up to the ceiling. Lift your chin. Breathe deeply into your diaphragm, not shallow sips into your chest. The biology. This posture sends a powerful feedback signal to your own amygdala. It says, I am not shielding my organs. I am not running. I am not in danger. I am safe. This open, expansive, grounded posture is the universal nonverbal signal for I am not a threat and I am not threatened. It is the ultimate all clear for your own nervous system, which then allows you to walk into that room broadcasting that same calm, authoritative, safe signal to theirs. Part 2. The voice. How to broadcast authority. Your voice is, quite literally, an instrument. It is the most powerful tool you have for controlling the emotional state of a room. A calm, resonant, controlled voice mechanically calms your listener's nervous system. A frantic, high-pitched voice mechanically stresses them out. You will master 2 techniques. Technique A. Master the vocal floor. The problem. When we are nervous or when we are seeking approval, our voices rise in pitch at the end of a statement. This is called uptalk. Scenario. We crunch the numbers and this is the right plan? That upward inflection turns your statement into a question. It signals uncertainty. It signals, I'm not sure. Do you agree? Please validate me. It gives away all your authority. The solution, you must own your statements. You must land your plane. You must hit the vocal floor. This means that at the end of a declarative sentence, your inflection goes down. Scenario. Practice this out loud. Hi, uptalk. My name is... Your name? Low, vocal floor. My name is your name. Hi, uptalk. This is the right decision? Low, vocal floor. This is the right decision. The biology. That downward inflection is a neuroceptive cue of certainty, authority, and completion. It tells the listener's fast brain, this is a fact. The speaker is in control. This topic is closed. You can relax. Technique B. Master the pause. The problem. When we are nervous, we hate silence. Silence feels like danger. It feels like we're failing. So we fill every single second with noise. Like, you know, sort of. These are filler words. And to a listener's brain, they are the sound of panic. They are the sound of your smart brain, PFC, failing to find the next word, and your fast brain frantically making noise to cover the gap. I am not in control. The solution? You must fall in love with the pause. The pause is not your enemy. It is your single greatest weapon of authority. A deliberate pause is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate sign of confidence. The biology, for you? A 1-second pause gives your prefrontal cortex the time it needs to catch up. It allows you to breathe, stimulating your vagus nerve, calm your system, and find the right word, not just the first word. The biology, for them? The pause is magnetic. It creates tension and drama. It commands attention. Think about it. The person who is comfortable with silence is the person who owns a room. They are so confident they don't need to rush. They are willing to wait for you. Scenario. Weak? So, I think we should go with the first option because it's, better. Strong. We have 2 options, but only one, pause, is the right decision. Pause. We must choose option 1. That second version is all authority. You have used silence to sculpt your words, to give them weight. You have created an auditory landscape of total control. Your presence is the container for all your other skills. Your open, expansive body proves you are safe and confident. Your resonant, downward inflecting, and well-paced voice proves you are an authority. You have mastered your logic. You have mastered your story. And now you have mastered the physical and auditory signals that deliver them. You are a complete, integrated communicator. You seem invincible. But what happens when someone attacks? What happens when a skeptical person in your audience rejects your perfect logic? What do you do when someone says you're wrong and you can feel your amygdala getting ready to hijack you all over again? How do you change a mind that is stubbornly, defiantly closed? That is the final test, and it's coming next. How do you change a mind that is stubbornly, unequivocally closed? You've done everything right. You tamed your own primal panic, Chapter 2. You silenced your inner critic, Chapter 3. You built empathetic rapport, Chapter 4. You structured your logic perfectly, Chapter 5. You told a compelling oxytocin-releasing story, Chapter 6. You walked in with a presence that commanded the room, Chapter 7. You deliver your perfect message. And a key stakeholder, a person you need to convince, leans back, crosses their arms, and says, I just don't buy it. You're wrong. That's not how we do things here. What happens next? Your stomach clenches. Your amygdala starts to sound the alarm. And you do whatever smart, logical person does. You push back. But you're wrong, you say. Let me show you the data. The facts clearly prove. And you have just lost. The second you tell someone they are wrong, the conversation is over. You haven't just challenged their idea, you have attacked their identity. And you are about to discover that a human being will sacrifice any truth, any data, and any logic to protect their own ego. This is the great frustration of the smart communicator. We believe that arguments are won with better logic. We treat persuasion as a battle, a debate to be won. We use our facts as brute force, trying to hammer down the door of their resistance. This never works. It only makes them dig in their heels. It makes them strengthen their defenses. Why? The answer lies in one of the most powerful forces in human psychology: cognitive dissonance. This concept, first proposed by psychologist Leon Festinger, describes the intense mental pain your brain feels when it tries to hold two conflicting beliefs at the same time. This isn't a feeling in the vague sense. This is a state of deep biological discomfort, as powerful as hunger or thirst. It creates a state of agitation that the brain must resolve. Now let's look at the two conflicting beliefs in the mind of the person you're trying to persuade. Belief 1, their core identity. I am a smart, good, experienced, and consistent person. My worldview is correct. Belief 2, your fact. This new piece of information you just presented proves that a belief I have held for a long time is wrong. This is the explosion. This is the cognitive dissonance. If they accept your new fact, they must also accept the devastating conclusion. I have been wrong all this time. I am not as smart as I thought. This is an attack on their identity. It is a primal threat to their sense of self, their place in the tribe. Their fast brain, their limbic system, registers this as a mortal social threat, just as dangerous as the public speaking predator we met in Chapter 2. So, their brain is given a choice. It must resolve this painful dissonance. Option A, rebuild their entire identity from the ground up, accept they were wrong, foolish, and inconsistent. This is neurologically excruciating. Option B, reject your new fact. This is simple, fast, and painless. Their brain will choose option B every single time. It is easier to reject your data, and by extension you, than it is to change their own identity. This is why brute force logic strengthens resistance. When you push, you are not helping them, you are attacking them. Their brain goes into full-on identity defense mode. Their prefrontal cortex, your only ally, goes offline. Their fast brain takes over, and its only job is to find any reason to discredit you, your data, and your idea. You cannot win this fight. So, you must stop fighting. You must stop being a logic warrior. You must become an architect of yes. An architect doesn't use a sledgehammer. An architect designs a new structure. A speak smart communicator doesn't push their idea. They guide the listener to discover the new idea for themselves. This is the inception of communication. A new idea is only truly sticky if the person believes it was their idea all along. How do we do this? We will use cognitive dissonance, but in a completely different, far more subtle and powerful way. Instead of creating dissonance between your idea and their belief, you will create dissonance between their current belief and a deeper core value they already hold. You are not going to attack their castle. You are going to get invited inside and help them see that a room in their own castle is out of alignment with the rest of it. The tool for this is not a statement. It is the most powerful tool in the Speak Smart arsenal, the empathetic Socratic question. Here is the three-step process. Step 1. Find the common ground, the shared, deeper value. You cannot begin from a place of conflict. If you do, their defenses are already up. You must begin by finding the yes that you both agree on. This is your anchor. This is your bridge. This is the deeper value you will use. This step is critical for sending the safety signals we talked about in Chapter 7. It lowers their defenses and activates their oxytocin system, trust system. Step 2. Ask questions to expose their internal dissonance. This is the inception part. You will not state your case. You will ask gentle, genuinely curious questions. These questions are designed to make them hold their own belief up against their own deeper value and see for themselves that the two do not match. Step 3. Offer your idea as the resolution to their dissonance. Once they feel the pain of their own internal conflict, their brain will be desperate for a solution. They are now open. Their prefrontal cortex is online and searching for a way to resolve the dissonance. Now, and only now, can you offer your idea. But you won't present it as my brilliant plan. You will present it as a possible way to solve the problem they just identified. Let's put this in a high-stakes scenario. The goal. You are trying to implement the Focus Fridays idea from Chapter 6. The blocker. A skeptical manager named Mark. Mark is old school. Mark's belief. We must be available 100% of the time. Butts in seats. This Focus Friday idea is just a lazy excuse to not answer emails. We are a customer-first company. Mark's identity. He sees himself as the champion of the customer. The logic warrior. Wrong approach. You. Mark, you're wrong. The data from Google and Microsoft shows that deep work increases productivity by 40%. It's not lazy, and our customers won't even notice for a few hours. Mark, I don't care what Google does. We are not Google. That data is irrelevant. It is lazy, and it's a bad look for our customers. I'll never approve it. Case closed. Result? You failed. You attacked Mark's customer-first identity. You called his belief wrong. He dug in. His brain rejected your data to protect his identity. Now, let's try again as an architect of yes. You are in the meeting. Mark has just said, "This Focus Friday idea is lazy. We are a customer-first company." Step 1. Find the common ground, the deeper value. You. Nodding, calm, open posture. Mark, I'm so glad you brought that up. You're 100% right. The only reason we are all here is for our customers. I know you've championed that customer-first value since day one, and we all agree with you. It's our North Star. Mark's brain. Mark's brain. Defenses lowering. He's not attacking me. He's agreeing with me. He's on my team. Okay, I'll listen. Step 2. Ask questions to expose the internal dissonance. You. So, since we both agree that customer first is our #1 value, can I ask, what do you think that really means for them? Does it mean we just answer their emails fast? Or does it mean we deliver them our best, most creative A+ work? Mark hesitates. It means we deliver them our best work, of course. You. Exactly. Our best work. So, here's what I'm struggling with, and I'd love your perspective. I was looking at the design for the Johnson account, and honestly, Mark, was that our A+ work? Was that our best? This is the dissonant pain. You are not blaming, you are asking curiously. Mark, frowning. No, it was rushed. It wasn't our best. You, I agree. And I'm seeing that everywhere. And when I talk to the team, bringing in the Chapter 6 story, they're all saying the same thing. I want to do A+ work for our clients, but I'm in back-to-back meetings all day. I don't have time to think. You, the final dissonance question. So, Mark, I'm stuck. How can we live our customer-first value if our current way of working is preventing us from ever doing our A+ work for them? Step 3. Offer your idea as the resolution. Mark's brain. He is now in pain. The dissonance is internal. Conflict. My 100% available belief is causing us to violate my customer-first value. He is now desperate for a solution that resolves this pain. You, gently, collaboratively. What if we could design a solution together? What if we protected a small block of time each week specifically for our clients? A block of time dedicated to guaranteeing that they get the A+ creative, deep work they're paying for. This Focus Friday idea, it's not about us, it's about them. It's about being truly customer first in our actions, not just in our words. Mark, leaning forward. His defenses are gone. Tell me more. How would we handle emergencies? You've won. You didn't push him, you guided him. You didn't attack his identity, you appealed to it. You made him see the flaw in his own logic. And you presented your idea as the key to unlock his problem. His brain can now adopt this new idea without feeling wrong. He can still be the champion of the customer. In fact, he is now more of one. This is the power of neuroplasticity. When you fight someone, you are strengthening, myelinating their resistance pathways. You are literally making their no stronger and faster. When you guide them, you are helping them build a new neural pathway, a new connection, a new permanent bridge from their core value to your solution. You have become an architect. You have, quite literally, changed their mind. You can now handle any disagreement. You can move any obstacle. Or can you? There is one last test, one final frontier. What happens when it's not a calm disagreement? What happens when the client is yelling? When your boss is furious? When the conversation is not just tense, but hostile? What happens when you are under direct fire? In that moment, all your logic, all your stories, all your architecture can evaporate in a flood of cortisol. In our next chapter, we will learn to master the final, most dangerous challenge: communication in the line of fire. The client is yelling. Your boss is critical. The feedback isn't just constructive, it's personal. This is a complete disaster. I am so disappointed in you. What were you thinking? You feel a hot electric jolt in your chest. Your face flushes, your stomach drops. In the most difficult, high-stakes, confrontational moments, your smart brain, all that logic from Chapter 5, all that architecture from Chapter 8, it evaporates. In that single, terrifying second, your brain has only one word for you: run, or even worse, fight. This is the final test. Speaking smart is one thing when you are calm and prepared. But can you do it when you are under direct attack? This is the ultimate biological challenge. When you are confronted, your first instinct is to do one of two things, both of which are catastrophic. You fight. You get defensive. You interrupt. You raise your voice. That's not fair. You're not listening to me. Actually, you're the one who. You attack back. You freeze, flee. You shut down, you capitulate. You say, "You're right, I'm sorry, it's all my fault," just to make the confrontation stop. You lose all your status, all your authority. You just fold. Both of these responses are career-limiting, relationship-destroying, and completely useless. And both are driven by the exact same biological mechanism. This is the amygdala hijack from Chapter 2, but on steroids. And it's not just your hijack, it's theirs too. You are no longer a smart brain talking to a smart brain. You are now a fast brain at war with a fast brain. This is limbic to limbic combat. The person yelling at you is already hijacked. Their amygdala is screaming threat. They are drowning in a chemical tidal wave of adrenaline and cortisol. Their prefrontal cortex is offline. They are incapable of hearing your logic. They are incapable of creative problem solving. They are incapable of empathy. And when they aim that cortisol-fueled rage at you, it triggers your amygdala. Now you're hijacked. Welcome to the cortisol flood. This is a biological feedback loop from hell. Your defensive body language, Chapter 7, proves to their brain that this is a real fight. Their aggressive voice proves to your brain that this is a real threat. Your panic feeds their panic. Their anger feeds your anger. And the entire conversation spirals down into a black hole of pure, primal, non-productive emotion. Heart rates are over 100 beats per minute. Logic has left the building. In this moment, you must understand a critical truth. You cannot win by fighting back, and you cannot win by giving in. Your only job is to de-escalate. You cannot control their biology, but you can control yours. And if you control yours, you can influence theirs. You must stop being the thermometer, just reacting to the temperature in the room. You must become the thermostat. You must be the one person in that room whose prefrontal cortex is still online. You must be the calm, cool, biological anchor that pulls everyone else out of the flood. This is the master-level skill of speaking smart. Here is the 4-step process for managing a cortisol flood. Step 1. Master your first 5 seconds. Keep your PFC online. This is the hardest and most important step. The moment you feel that hit, that jolt of adrenaline, that flush of heat, your amygdala is starting to hijack. You have about 5 seconds. You must not get hijacked. Breathe.